SBGB TV live call-in show.
Hey, this is me, Jam. Hi, chat.
Hey, what's happening?
So I was gonna just so I've been sitting back and I haven't said anything on the Chrisean. I just been laying low over here on Twitch, but haven't really commented and said too much on it. I guess I'm just shocked that people. Well, you say you gave her a benefit of the doubt. And
That's
I
a
think a
fact.
lot of people gave her a benefit of the doubt. And I wouldn't say I'm shocked, but I never gave her the benefit of the doubt. And of course, I have been following her for quite some time, and I've seen patterns, and I'm just a firm believer that your patterns show who you are. Um, and so your walk and your talk they have to align. And if they don't align, then you can only play a game for so long. It gets played out, or it's going to be revealed. So this benefit of the doubt that we've been given, or some people have been given, and I know people, and I've also been quiet because this topic gets people all, you know, panties in a bunch and everything, because um, just because I don't know, people always rooting for her, and I'm not rooting for her. But what I'm not looking at people as winners or doing really great when they neglect their responsibilities, So this whole fight thing, I was probably one of only one that wanted her to lose the fight. And the reason why I wanted her to lose the fight is because I didn't think she was winning, I didn't think she was winning in any other area in life that mattered, you know. And so I knew once she won the fight, everybody would forget the real important person that she should be fighting for and what she should be aiming for. Um, you know, to me, it's an order of operation in life. Everything you do in life, there's certain things that come before certain things. And I just don't feel that she's putting boxing first before taking care of her. And if you can do both, great. If you can do things at the same time. But what I saw, and maybe I was the only one and my eyes could be a little bit different. What I saw was that that's all her focus was. And as a mom, you have to, especially if I'm the one who caused some things to happen, I have to put extra special time into getting, trying to correct a mistake that I've done. And then I'll break down a few other little things if you don't mind.
Okay, yeah, do your thing. Let's hear what you got on this.
um, let's look at all the things that she did. She started doing. Now, all this stuff that I'm going to name, or a few things I'm going to name, because I'm not going to do all of it, but the few little things that I'm going to name didn't have anything to do with her son. That's, to me, should be priority number one. So if you recall, remember, I'm not for sure what the water sport was called that she went out and did, skiing or whatever she did with the little wetsuit or whatever, right? She started doing that. She started doing the football. She started doing all of these things. Now, mind you, and then the boxing, and she started doing all these things, mind you, while she still have a son that she has neglected to take care of. And I'm going to say neglected to take care of, right? We don't see, you know, what we were seeing, or what I was seeing, it didn't look like any progress was happening with the baby. And we do know, regardless of what is going on, we know if we spend quality time working on anything in life, we can overcome stuff, or we can make things better in life. And hopefully you feel what I'm saying is that, to correct something, you have to spend time with it. To do better, you have to sit with it, and you have to do the work to do it. It doesn't get better by itself. You have to work, and you have to do stuff to make things get better. And that's wasn't happening when you're spending all your time boxing and this and this and this and this, doing all these different things. That does not happen. So she spends, and then I'm also going to, remind everybody the reason why we were doing a lot of, I'll name a few things that we did, was just to get the attention, in my opinion, for Blueface. Oh, he talked about her weight. So now let me get this weight down. And it's great to do that. But you have to do stuff for yourself. We can't be doing things, in my opinion, you can't be doing things for other people, because that only lasts for a little bit, or you have to keep changing and flopping. And you know what I mean? You have to keep doing things because you're adapting to what somebody else, and the next person tell you this, then, okay, I'm gonna do this. And, you have to be content with who you are and what you really want to do for things to continue to, for you to be successful, I believe. And so boxing. Blueface was boxing. Oh, so now I'm going to be boxing. It just seems like it always was about him, of some things she was doing. And that's great. We all can use somebody to be our motivation to do stuff in life. But you also have to want that for yourself too. You can't just be doing it for somebody to gain some attention, or to be doing it just to be doing it. You have to want that as well, because it's not going to last if you're doing it for somebody else. So no, I'm not a big fan. I'm not a big fan. I don't believe winners, because she won the fight, that all of a sudden, yes, she's changing, because I've seen too many other reasons to know that wasn't changed. That was just a temporary kind of short term thing, and that her head was going to get pumped up because everybody's rooting for her. But let's root for what really matters. Winning a boxing match doesn't mean anything when you're losing what's more important in life. And that's just as recent as not that long ago. I think a day or two, I saw a stroller and a bottle still. You know what I mean? Like, that's not winning, in my opinion. So that's how I feel about it. I can probably go on and on and on, but I won't.
Quick question,
Yeah.
right? All right. So now that we see Chrisean at the concert with Blueface, and we know that Kim, Wax's wife, is Chrisean's manager. Do you feel like Wack had something to do with Blueface reaching out to her to try to get her back close to them, to try to get at his wife because he knows that she's the manager?
I wouldn't put it past, for sure, because if you recall and remember that when Blueface got upset, when you remember when Chrisean had called, or Blueface called her to come to his boxing fight, and she declined, supposedly. I mean, we don't know what's true these days with all this mess, but you remember she declined, right?
Yeah.
And so now it could be a whole, let me, get, let me, play to, like, we talked about, I'm going to do whatever I can. He could be playing a game. Like, if I can get her back in my presence, then I'm looking at, then he can say, yeah, that's what I did, I got her back where I wanted her to be, because she wasn't over him. And that's one thing about it. When you're not over somebody, it doesn't take too much for a person to go ahead and slip back. She has to do that hard work to not let any of that, let him play her or anything like that. She was under some good management. She was under a good team. That's one thing I would say. She was under a good team. And now, I don't know, all that good work. Now you over there. It's one thing, I'll say this. It's one thing if she came and she performed, right? Everybody needs money, supposedly. I'm not real big on just getting money any kind of way. It's all money is not good money, in my opinion. But, people live by the money and everything. So it'd be one thing if she went there to make money. But now we see a whole outfit change. I don't know if it looks like it's the next following day. They both in the black, which you probably gonna play in a little bit. They all in, little matching outfits and stuff. And, so are we still making money? So I would say I wouldn't put it past that, that this was a play that they're doing and they know she's easy to be influenced. All he has to do is say, hey, and she's over there. Yeah. And I don't think in my opinion, I do believe that I don't think the baby is his baby. I don't believe that. I do think they played that to make the money and everything. And so, him talking and saying what he said on Jason Lee and stuff is, I believe that part of it, that, the baby isn't his. But it will be very, very hard for me to want to sit and be around somebody who talks about my child, regardless if it's his or it's not his, and or talk about, or even, talk about me. Like, I think the last thing he said, she was a setup person and all that, if she is or she's not. But why would you want to put yourself in that situation? So it's like everybody's just using everybody. It's just everybody's just using what you can gain from somebody. It's no one's loyal, no one's really loyal to each other these days. It's just like, what can I do to make this money? And I just don't think this all money is good.
What do you feel about Carlissa saying that this is the circus and they knew about Chrisean coming to the concert and being with Blue, and this is about money and this is what they gonna do, and they doing this for content and it's money, business. How do you feel about that?
Well, I think that Carlissa's going to take up for Blueface, regardless if he's disrespecting her or being nice to her. For whatever reason, she just goes hard for her child, and that's a whole nother topic and story and all that. But I think that it's hard to believe that she knew, because she's saying that she knew about it and it's just about business. That's hard to believe, because at one point they're saying that they don't even talk to each other. So how did she know that was happening? And for sure, Nevaeh for sure looked like she was very shocked about it.
Yeah.
So
that there threw me too, because Nevaeh didn't know anything about it, and she definitely was surprised of what was going on, and she's the one sitting over there pregnant, supposedly with his child, and now he's back with Chrisean and she's on the road. He won't even bring Nevaeh nowhere around that type of environment, but he got Chrisean, and he's treating Chrisean right now with a great deal of respect on stream, whereas though all the other women, he's treating them with disrespect. So it's like, I feel like he has like a purpose, an agenda for doing what he's doing, because he's treating her so nice versus every other woman he have on there, he disrespects them.
Yeah, I think when he wants something, he knows how to act. And then when he gets it, then he's done with it. I also do think that he gets a thrill. This is my opinion. Everything I say is my opinion. No one has to like it, or I'm not, but this is my opinion, is that I think that Blueface actually gets a thrill. If you listen to some things he says, it's when women, when he treats women a certain way and they accept it and they deal with it, that's like equal love. That equates love for him. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying, but the more he treats them bad and the more they seem to stay with him and hang with him and accept it, it seems that he equates that to love, and will say they love, like he said, Nevaeh loves him more than any of the women. And I would, say that probably Jaden would have been that person that he would have probably thought that and said that. But he said Nevaeh, and now he's looking at her and finding out that she done mess with this one and this one and this one and this one and that one, and don't know if the baby is his or if that's what he's claiming. I don't know if all this is plays and this is what they truly believe, or if they're just playing this stuff out. But so it just feels like if anybody, whoever is on board, that is allowing him to do what he wants to do and treat him however, and they still stick around, that he feels that they love him the most. So that's how I feel. And with Chrisean, I think it's just that he wants something. It's something he wants from that, and so therefore that's why he can. That's why he's acting that way. But it was just probably not even a week ago, he was on Jason Lee talking crazy about her. So, I mean, come on.
It got to be a purpose. It's a reason.
It's always a gain for him. And like anything in life, I do believe it's a gain. People are doing whatever they need to do for themselves. But when you when you care about somebody, you start to now think of the other person and not just yourself. But when you don't care about a person, you only think of yourself. What can I gain from this? What can I benefit from this? What do I need from this? You know? But when you like somebody or love somebody, then you also you look at them and you look at what they need and what's going to help make them happy together. And so Blueface is just only looking for what works for him. And that's it. He does not care about any of this but himself. Blueface cannot, if people understand this, Blueface can't not love anybody or care for anybody outside of himself until he starts caring and loving for himself, love himself. One, he don't know himself and he does not love himself. There's no way in the heck you will be having risky behavior the way you do if you love yourself. Forget loving everybody else. Forget that. Forget telling the truth to everybody else. Forget all of that. When are you going to start telling the truth to yourself? When are you going to start loving yourself? When you do that, then you can extend that to someone else. But until then, you cannot extend that to anybody. So we're looking at, little surface stuff. But if we really break it down, like I like to do, that we're not going to look at the surface things about these females. It goes down deeper. He needs to figure all this stuff. So these women, every woman that gets on the screen with him, every woman that he entertained, you have to know this. That man will never, ever appreciate your worth and your value or whatever. I mean, some women we have to, I don't know if they found their worth and their value and things like that. But what I'm saying is you're not going to be he's not going to ever be able to treat them the way they should be treated. I'll say it like that. Because he is not even there on that level yet. And I don't care how much money you have and what you have, like tangible things. We're not talking about those kind of things. All he can is offer a woman tangible things. He has to get with a woman that's need him. Cannot get a woman that is successful, got their own, and can add and bring things to add to the table, right? He needs somebody that's going to need him.
Now, we see the way he treats his mother, and he's like very disrespectful to her. And do you think from the way that you see the way that he treats his mother, will he be able to treat a woman right if he treats his mother like that?
No, I don't. Again, that's to me, it's not even about his mom. It's not even about him. It's about, it's not about his mom or other women. It's about him. He doesn't even, like I said, and he doesn't even love himself or know himself. As far as his mom relationship, to me, women have to look at how he treat his mother. Because a lot of times how you treat your mother is how a guy will treat their significant other or women just in general, So, and unfortunately, Carlissa looks at, because she put him in a house and they went to private school, and she equates that to, see, I loved you guys. And I really do think all those kids needed was a hug. They didn't need all the things that she thinks. Sometimes we want to love people the way we think we need to. We're going to love people the way, we want to be loved versus loving people the way they need to be loved. Okay. And so I think she loved those kids because she thought money and big houses and this was something. And those kids didn't care about that. And what I've been listening to, they didn't care about any of that. They saw mama bouncing to this man and this man and this man and this man. And she was doing that, in my opinion, because she wanted them to have financial gain and financial things. And those kids didn't want that. They probably would have been okay living in a shoebox. And long as their mom wasn't out there just being, out there doing stuff, you know. So I think he doesn't respect his mom. I don't think he respects women at all. That's how I feel, that he doesn't respect his mom, and it shows on how he respects and deals with the women that's in his life.
Okay.
So yeah, no, I don't think that his mom is going to. I don't think that him disrespecting his mom, these women don't have the chance until he get that together. They don't have a chance.
Okay. Is there anything else you think you want to let us know about this?
No, I think that's all.
You know, we greatly appreciate you calling in.
I appreciate you. Bye.
Later. SBGB TV live call-in show.
Hi, Daisy. This is Tasha, calling from Texas.
Hey, what's going on, Tosh?
Hey, I think he asked her to come on the show, and I don't see, as a mother, and I'm 53. I don't see how he could do that show and say all those things and come on, no matter what. It's plenty of men take care of. Like, say for instance, it went how he said she got pregnant while they was messing around, whatever they was doing or whatnot. It's just something funny for her to come. I think he need to make some more money, views, and all of that. But at the same time, it's something going on between those two for him to do it. Plus, I think it was Get Back and the deal with the fight, and all of that. I believe it's business, number one. And then I think he sent subliminal messages on that show when he was with the guy, whatever. And then for him to even be on that show, that dude be like flirting with him. Jason Lee, I think Jason Lee wants Blueface sexually, period. But all of this right here, it's just strange. And then why would she be on the damn bus and Whack 100 doesn't like her? I mean, what do you think about that?
Hey, listen, I've been letting y'all know what I think. I really think that she still wants to deal with him. From what I'm seeing, if somebody disrespects you publicly the way he did on Jason Lee's and said she's a setup girl and all these different things about her, the baby ain't his, why would you want to go be around this individual? And then when you look at her, she got googly eyes looking at him.
Yes, I believe he got something on her, and at the same damn time, like he had asked her before when he was going to, I think when he asked her to come to do something with him before, and she turned him down. And so whatever what was in that interview, I think put fire to her behind, and she came or something. And then for it to be Mother's Day. I don't know. I don't know if she brought the baby behind the scenes or whatever. I, you know, I feel sorry for Chrisean because family members that was on drugs, and for her to come from the background she come from or whatever, she got to figure all this shit out by herself. I don't support no mistreat of no child or nothing like that, but she got to figure this shit out. And who knows? She probably, her mama was on drugs and had her, she probably a little touched or whatever because they got strange family and whatnot. But other than that, I'm just praying for her to get it right. But I'm looking at this shit because I have sons, and their age group, man, they're gonna be our future. It's not me being a crustacean or nothing like that. This is real shit that goes on. Excuse my language. It's just stuff like this happen every day. It's just not televised. And this right here, these people that are in their age and beyond is gonna look at it and think they can be blue face, pimp face, or whatnot, and it's just gonna destroy our society. You know what I mean? So, believe it or not, people are watching this and thinking they could just, this is what it is. We don't want a fad to turn to affect the future generations. That's why I'm watching it. And plus, watching Carlissa, me and her the same age, it's teaching me, okay, if one of my kids get a ratchet, am I gonna be all in their business, or I'm gonna just say, hey, y'all stay over there. I'm gonna send an Amazon truck, because when you have sons, there are future kings, and so you know that's another thing. And we can only do the best we can as parents. But I want to hold you, and thanks for having this show, because I think you create a good platform that makes us think, and maybe we can affect other people's lives by advising them, hey, don't do that. Because if Chrisean had the right person in her corner, tell her, hey, girl, you go over there, you mess with him, you setting your damn self up. But in fact, we all individuals. She probably don't want to listen because she's going with her heart. That's all I gotta say.
And I appreciate your input, and appreciate you watching the show. And yeah, we're gonna keep doing what we do, and that's what it is.
And I hope he don't catch AIDS. And then look, he screwed her. Whoever she was dealing with, they got something, all of this and all of that. But you know what? When she was pregnant, her sister dropped a dime and said she had such and such and such and such. I think he gave it to her. So that's why he ain't doing no tripping.
Allegedly.
That's right, allegedly. But okay, thank you. And I'm still watching the show. Good night.
Appreciate you calling in.
You too. Bye-bye.
SBGB TV live call-in show.
Hey, well, I'm calling in.
Okay, who we speaking with?
My name is Amy.
Hey, Amy, what's happening?
On the chat is Amy Eliza.
Okay, Amy, what's popping?
Well, I was just going to call in and chat, but I got to be live, though.
Okay, you said you're going to call in and chat, but what?
Yeah, I mean, I want to make sure I'm live because I'm trying to listen at the same time, but I don't want it to reverberate and whatnot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you live, but you're going to hear it a little bit after. But you know what I mean? Because it's you live, though. You definitely live.
Oh, okay. Hang on. Let me turn my fan off. All right. Well, we was talking about the Blueface and Chrisean situation.
Yeah.
And how you let somebody dog walk you like that for years and years and years. And how you don't have any self-respect but I'm just calling to say that, like, sometimes they get you when you're young and impressionable.
Okay.
Like I guess Blueface did with Chrisean. He's damaged, she's damaged. And when two damaged people come together, it's the perfect storm for a disaster. So just speaking on experience, like, been there, done that, did it for 4 years, and was actually gone from him for many years. And then when we ran back up on each other, it was like all those feelings came back, and I let it happen another 10 years. And so, it's not that you're stupid. It's not that you're dumb. It's not, I don't know it's a combination of things, obviously.
Okay.
But
we did, but just to clarify, we didn't say none of those things about her. You know what I'm saying?
No, I know,
Okay.
I know. Well, I read the chat too at the same time while I listen to stuff. Yeah, so everybody has opinions. And there was a lot said about it's about opinion. Well, and sometimes it's just experience, and you just end up there. But I don't know. There wasn't actually a question, right? I'm just like defending the people. It's not always just females that get dog walked for years and years. It can be males too, but it's not always all about the money or about the power.
Okay, now
sometimes it's just about the emotion.
I'm with you on that, understanding about the money, the power, sometimes about the emotion, right? But now, if last week a guy that you was with went publicly on a public stage, disrespected you, said the kid ain't yours. Now you telling us, the whole world, about the Lord. You saying God did this for you, God did that for you. But you go back around this individual that is really manipulating you, don't care about you. Your fans is, happy that you done went in a different direction. They supporting you. And you go right back around this individual and act like everything's all good, everything's Tahi. Now your fans got to jump on your side and support you because of the decision you made. But we got to be realistic as other people that is observing it. Like, hold up, you just preached to us the word and you went back over here soon as you got some money. When you was feeling like you was depressed and you was low on money, you wanted to cry to the world, I need help, I need the Lord. Soon as you get some money, you go back right to where the problem started. See, and this is what, people got to really recognize. The Lord will give you an opportunity and help you go in a different direction. Once you feel like you in a different direction, you can't go back in the same direction that you prayed to get away from and think that the Lord is going to continue to bless you. Because now those demons that was over there, they back present in your life. So what I see with her myself is that she played on a lot of people and went back to a situation that ain't right for her. So, what you saying, I understand, but you got to really look at it and be real with yourself at the same time.
100%. I absolutely agree with what you're saying. And her situation is not my situation. And none of that happens in a week, and obviously there was clout chasing from the get-go. She was trying to get, she was trying to get into show business, with whatever that show was that she was on with the, I don't know, with the
Baddies.
And before the Baddies, the where you had to do like the obstacle courses, and it's kind of like a Survivor type show. But
Okay.
you remember? I don't remember the name of the show. I never watched the actual show. I've just seen. She was just trying. She was just trying to, like she says, get up out the hood. That show that she was on, and where you had to use your athletic skills and go through all the obstacle courses. Okay. I don't know the name of that damn show, but anyway, she was just trying to do what she could, and she wanted to be put on, in the show business, clearly. So yeah, her situation is different, but apparently I feel like she actually does love Blue. And I don't know about the baby, because he's back and forth on whether, they really just need to go on the Maury Povich show and do a legit, whatever state they're in, whether it's Maryland or California, do a legit test and stop playing around. But it's they're all like under contract with Zeus Network, right?
I don't think they're all under contract with Zeus Network. I think, she might have had some business with Zeus. I think whatever, she fell out with them. So I don't know if she's still under contract with them. But I don't think that they're ever going to do a DNA test,
Well,
because
Junior, okay.
I'm going to tell you
Chrisean Jr., yeah, he deserves to.
But I'm going to tell you, though, listen, I'm going to tell you why. You got to understand this. Them not doing a DNA test keeps everybody in suspense.
Well, yeah, but that's not, let's go back to what you were just talking about. If you want to talk about what's right with God and what's right with the word and what's right with the world, who gives any, I'm not trying to, use curse words on your show, because
I appreciate that.
I will use some curse words, but who cares? None of that matters. At the end of the day, there's this poor child that is, he's obviously neglected, in the things. He's in Maryland, right next door to Johns Hopkins University Medical Center, world-class facility. He could be getting all the services and all of his needs met right now. But it's not happening because these silly clowns in the circus are chasing a bag, and that's what it's all come down to is, and you want to go back to the word, Jesus went into the temple and flipped the tables of the money changers when he found out that they were in the temple using it for monetary purposes, right? So, you can't have it both ways.
Well, you can see that everything's off balance about what they're doing. So this is what I say. Everything's off balance and the priorities are not right. So if the priorities is not right, the results ain't going to be right.
Right. It circulates out like throwing a stone into a pond. The concentric circles. It reverberates outward, and it touches the lives, not just those two and what they did together, but this child. And now there are other children being involved in families, and I don't know. And I don't know. I guess that's just the way of the world, but, and I guess it was that same way when the Bible was written, because they would not have written about it had it not been happening back then, thousands of years ago.
Okay, yeah. So, things is going on with them, but they're trying to act like what's going on isn't going on. They're not addressing.
Well, of course, they're both liars. I mean, they're both proven liars.
Yeah.
And clearly Blue's narcissistic. He's damaged. He's got mommy issues. Chrisean, she's damaged. I mean, who can't be damaged coming from just being especially one of the youngest children from that many children. You don't get the attention you need, and there's up in the air about who her father is and what kind of relationship she had with him. But at the end of the day, they're both adults, and they're bringing children into the world, and they're out here. The main thing, Blue doesn't claim to be, well, his mama claims he's a Christian. But yes, with Chrisean out here claiming to be, I mean, clearly in that video, to me, she looked high as hell. Put her sunglasses on.
I heard that.
On the tour bus, trying to turn off the chat or the cameras all of a sudden when, she's always open to the cameras any other time, seems like. And the slurring of the words she said, adios, amigos. What? Okay.
Yeah.
Lucifer is pulling her back into the underworld, it feels like.
Yeah, we can see that he's definitely pulling her back into the circus. It's about to take place again. And if you see the way that he's talking to her, he's definitely talking to her with a little more respect, and he's agreeing with what she's talking about with the Lord. So it's like to pull her back in to make her comfortable so that, the agenda can continue.
There you go. Back into the love bombing stage. That's what a narcissist does. And it sucks. But to her defense on that part, falling in love with a narcissist is a terrible thing, because you can get dog walked for years and you leave and you get pulled back in, and you get embarrassed and made to look like a fool in front of your friends, family, on her level, the public. And it's never a pleasant situation. She doesn't look happy. Clearly she's not. And I don't know what she has going on in her soul or him. I only know what goes on in my own soul, but I know what it's like to be pulled back into a situation where you're abused and treated like crap and humiliated in front of a whole lot of people. But because of the fact that you fell in love with him a long time ago, it's hard. But okay, so, there are domestic violence statistics that are easily Googleable. And the average woman, I'm just going to use woman as an example. I'm not going to say men are not, victims or survivors of domestic violence, but the average woman, like, let's just in a marriage or a relationship, takes 7 times to leave on average. Well, some of us take 27 times, and there are people that never leave and that end up deceased because of that relationship. But yeah, so wow, this took a dark turn.
I appreciate you, calling in. And if you're new to the channel, I hope you subscribe.
I am. This is my first night, and I'm sorry to like, I don't know. It's just something hit me about, like, when y'all were talking about, she should just, tell them to F off, just like, oh, if anyone publicly or even privately disrespects me, I'm out on the first day. Well, not everybody is able to do that. Especially, if you're emotionally invested. And not to get off the religious part, but she is a Pisces, so she's full of her emotions all the time, it seems. Very emotional. But I believe God can speak through us, to us, and through us, through any means necessary, whether it be through Zodiac. Obviously, number one is the Bible, the Word, interactions with other people. But yeah, she is very emotional. So I don't know. I was just trying to, I don't even want to stick up for her at all, ever, because of, Junior. But judge not, lest I be judged.
Okay.
Let he who is without sin cast the first stone.
Okay. And we appreciate you calling. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. And we appreciate your opinion.
Thank you.
Thank you for calling in.
You're welcome. Have a good night.
You too.
All right. Bye-bye.